events. Have a great day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Without further ado, let us commence the conference with the age-old tradition of the lighting of the lamp. I request our honorable chief guest, Mr. C.A. Babu Krishnamurthy, Principal Dr. A. Shivasankar sir, Vice Principal Mrs. Benita Merlin, and Shinto Coordinator Mrs. Tamilarsi to come up on stage for the traditional lighting of the lamp.
Babu Krishnamurthy with a memento and bouquet. Thank you, dignitaries. Now, I would like to invite George Joseph to introduce and welcome our principal, Dr. A. Shivashankar.
I'm greatly honored to introduce our principal, Dr. Shivashankar Arugam sir, an esteemed scholar and educationist with an extraordinary academic journey. He has over 25 years of experience in the education industry. He has been serving as a driving force of inspiration and motivation for all of us to achieve academic and personal excellence. His impressive qualifications include MSc in Chemistry and Psychology, M.Ed, M.Phil, PhD in Education, and PGDMA. His contribution to the literary world is equally remarkable, and it includes 2 authored books and 1 edited book, showcasing his expertise. Sir has also published 10 papers in both national and international journals and has received the Jawaharlal Nehru Memorial Book Award from the Ministry of Human Resource Development. Once again, we welcome you, sir, and we extend our heartfelt gratitude to you for gracing us with your presence. I would like to invite our principal, Dr. A. Shivashankar sir, onto the stage to deliver the presidential address.
Very good morning to all. So I take this opportunity to thankfully welcome our guest today, Chartered Accountant Mr. Babu Krishnamurthy, who had just immediately accepted our invitation to be amidst us and to share his idea how exactly the business world is just revolving about. And we all know well that the world has become a global village now. At the same time, the business proposition of this village has just gone manifold because of the new formats of business we will just work. Whether it is mobile banking,
Good morning, everybody. Can you hear me?
yeah, very well. Have this done.
Yes, sir.
Fine. So the new formats of business, like the e-commerce
Yes, sir.
and its branches, mobile
Thank you very
banking,
much.
so voice commerce, social commerce, and how this VR and AR is just helping us to make better business proposition. All that has just definitely given us a better life that we are just enjoying now. For all this to happen, definitely we must just thank the approaches followed by our educationists and as well as our researchers. That is interdisciplinary approach. Had we just not had this particular happy unison of these people from commerce as well as IT, we cannot have all these benefits. So interdisciplinary approach in education and research is very, very essential. That is how even our institution had just made this arrangement for this international conference with the interdisciplinary approach, where we are having commerce, management, corporate secretaryship, along with Department of ISM 2 to ensure that we are just reaping the better benefits of this particular interdisciplinary approach. And very recently, when I had an opportunity to attend a workshop at IIT Madras, I came to know that they are just going to come out with a program wherein they are rightly making a blend of medicine as well as engineering. That is going to be a 6 years program where you can register as a registered medical practitioner in Indian Medical Council. At the same time, you can serve as an engineer also. So it's a unique need of the hour also. unless always engineers are just pitching in with some medical idea, we might not have had this kind of equipments like MRI, PET scan and all that, which really just predicts the quantum of disease, that way you can take preventive medicines. Likewise in commerce also, there is a lot of untapped area that we must definitely know, or at least we must be sensitized that how exactly we have to pitch in our part. So we felt that this particular conference is definitely essential. These young minds must be ignited that where they have to rightly catch up the spark to pursue their career. And I really congratulate all the 4 departments who took this initiative: Department of Commerce, Corporate Secretaryship, ISM and Management Board Shift 1 and Shift 2. And normally the social scientists will say that the simple definition for social change. There are so many terms: social mobility, social dynamics, social transformation, very well. But the social change, the simple definition is that if you are just doing some kind of activities which your parents have not been doing, that is what the social change, right? So we are doing such things. The way in which effortlessly we are always just moving with the automobiles, and this information technology, gadgetries and accessibility our parents never had. This has just given us lot of easy access, and at the convenience of sitting at our doorsteps, we could just get and send very many things. These are all possible, a kind of social change that we have just done with without encroaching the expert's time. I request the guest to give his justice to the students, and I request you to pay rapt attention to ensure maximum take from the effort. One thing that I appreciate yesterday is, after completing CA, he never felt that he must go to work firm. He never wanted to be a big point. Sir wanted to his own firm at the age of 45. That first grown bound. Then after some sizable volume, sold it out and started one more firm in the name of Sherpa. We all know that Sherpa is the person just help mountain climbers. Without that Sherpa, the mountain climber cannot be successful. And Sir had just kept the name Sherpa for his company, and he had designated himself as a chief Sherpa. So the innovation and vision Sir has definitely down all your insights, and I accept it. Thank you so much. Have good learning.
Thank you, sir. Now, I invite Assistant Professor Ms. Mary Jasmine, Department of Commerce, to introduce the chief guest, delivering the inaugural address, Mr. C.A. Babu Krishnamurthy, to the gallery.
இப்போ அதில் போ நான் பண்ணுறேன் நீ எப்படி சொல்லுவேன் வருது பாரு வந்துச்சுரா வரண்டா ஆயிடுறா
the consent to come. It's my opportunity. I think for me an opportunity to present, sir. Really welcome you all. Our chief guest, CA Babu Krishnamurthy, is a founder and chief FinSherpa Investments Private. He is a fellow of Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, and he has 25 years of expertise areas related to finance and money management. Prior to starting FinSherpa, Sir has co-founded Pelican Wealth and has been associated with Allegro Capital, a leading investment, banking and wealth management house. A passionate thought leader in the personal finance space, Babu has authored the best-selling book, Unlock Secrets to a Wealthy Life. I hope that secrets also will be shared here now for our efforts to become a wealthy wealthy life, which helps young adults, and of course it's meant for your young adults to start their investing journey and in a methodological manner. As a professional speaker, he speaks on subjects relating to investments and finance. And he is an avid reader of non-fiction books and is a marathon runner. He is an active Rotarian and is a part of Rotary Club of Madras East, where he is involved in various society uplifting projects. So I also place a request to you, so you can kindly help us in all our social extension activities, which is yet to come. Sir. Thank you, sir. And he is a past president of IFA Galaxy. It is one of the oldest and leading associations for mutual fund distributors. He has been at the forefront of helping the MFDs navigate themselves to better place. During his presidency, he got 25 fellow distributors to co-author a book called Stay Hungry, Stay Bullish on how to build a robust on how to build a robust mutual fund distribution business. Welcome, sir.
Good morning, Dr. Shiv Shankar, Dr. Mitra, who so colorfully introduced me, Dr. Benita, and Dr. Tamilarsi, and students of Alpha College. Thank you so much for inviting me for your international conference and allowing me to share a few thoughts. Just before I start my thing, I want to take a minute to tell you that academically, until I came to college, I was a very poor student. Couldn't have imagined in those days that there will be a day when I will come and hear and talk. I used to be asked and putting my head down because if teacher should spot me and ask a question, I wouldn't know the answer. But something changed. I was in college. Therefore, I went on to do CA and then things. The reason I'm saying is that when I address and I spend a lot of time talking to yours, is that each one of you potential, you are potentially the future leaders of this country. It's very important that you take yourselves very seriously in this task, because this country is going to grow only based on what you decide for yourself to achieve. And this country is looking forward to the generation of youth, that is you, very, very hard in terms of how we want to grow. We want a developed nation. What America is today, what UK is today, is going to happen only through the people sitting in this room. Yeah? So I just want to start with that note. I want to wish each and every one of you the best in future. But I'm here to share a few perspectives of mine on emerging trends, technical innovation in commerce and trade. But first I want to step back. Okay. to identify what is the change that's happening constantly, and is evolving, what is emerging. It is important to first understand what is not changing at all, right? So if we understand what is not changing at all, it becomes easy for us to understand what is changing and why it is changing, and understand the commercial implication of that. So I'm going to spend a few minutes talking about what is not. For the 50,000 years that human beings have been on this planet, we have our needs as human beings. We need basically food to survive, right? We need clothing to take care of us, protect us, and we need a shelter, a home over our heads. These are the basic human needs. These have not changed at all. No change. We also have a few wants as humans. What are those wants? We want things to happen much faster. Right? Yesterday something happened at a certain time. Today it a little faster, 5 minutes faster, 10 minutes faster. My grandfather's grandfather used to travel in bullock carts. I want a car. I want to travel faster. I want to reach places faster. So there is an inherent need for us to be faster. It needs to be easier than it was yesterday. My grandmother used to use the hand mill for dosa maav, idli maav. Today we don't. We use mixies, we use grinders, we use automation to help us. We need things easier. And we need it cheaper as well. There was a time when many of us used to, shopping meant going out and visiting a shop. Today, for many of you, shopping will mean opening your app and kind of looking at Flipkart and Amazon, right? So the definition of shopping has changed. The way shopping has changed. While the needs and wants remain the same, they have not changed at all. For the last 1,000 years, the needs and wants have not changed. Food, clothing, shelter needs, wants, cheaper, faster, easier, wants have not changed. What has changed? The manner in which they are fulfilled has changed dramatically. The manner in which we fulfill many of these have changed. So technology has played a big role. Society has played a big role in this. And I'm going to kind of pause a bit, move back and talk about different periods of time in our history of this world. There was an era maybe before 1800s, and if you look at the timeline of how humans have evolved, we have been on this planet for 50,000 years, like I said. But really the big growth happened in the last 250 years only. So for 49,000 odd years, humans have been doing a basic level of growth, right? But it exponentially went up over the last 200 years. And it started with industrial revolution. 1800s is when you had the concept of industrial revolution starting in the Western world, UK for instance, where you had the opportunity to mass produce products. Factories, you had division of labor, you had a whole lot of concepts. I'm sure you have covered syllabus, but that's really the point where things happened in a much broader scale. That was the first revolution, the industrial revolution, where the human population saw growth at a much greater pace in terms of fulfillment. Examples of industrial revolution are the automobiles. The mass production of cars happened thanks to industrial revolution. Everything that you have in your home, the atta, the rice, everything that comes to you today is coming through a process that started out at the industrial revolution phase. So there is an automation, there is a level of capability to mass produce at a much higher scale, and there is uniformity in the quality of output. These are the tenets of industrial revolution, and because of which all of us have very similar products that we can use and enjoy on a day-to-day basis. This industrial revolution continues, but more or less kind of the innovations here came to a kind of a broad tapering down towards the mid 1950s and 60s. That's when we saw the start of the next revolution, which I would call the information technology revolution. Information technology really started out in the 50s and 60s, very early. The 1960s and 70s, the supercomputer that you be the size of this room, this hall, had a computing capability which is less than what we carry in our hands today in the form of a phone. We can't even imagine that. But that is how evolution happened. And the chips that used to power today is about a million times faster than those chips then. So we have come a long way in the information technology. But even in the information technology, I think the big breakthrough came after the internet play, which happened in the early 80s. Ever since internet has come into play, lots of things have changed for mankind. Right? What has changed in our daily life? I don't have to go buy products. Use internet, download an app, and I buy using the app. The delivery happens to my house. I don't have to go to a restaurant to have my food. Zomato, Swiggy, and whoever, Dunzo, whatever, delivers it to my home. The near experience of going to a hotel and spending time, I can cut down. Makes life easier. Many a times it's cheaper as well. You take a vehicle, find parking there, pay a parking fee, whatever it is. Time, energy, effort, everything saved. Another big area where technology has made a big change, I personally think it's a wow movement for us, is the way payment systems have evolved. Right from the point of currency-based system, for a very long time we all existed in a barter system. I'm talking about. From barter we moved to a currency system. A currency system, which is what we have in vogue today, has now significantly moved to the digital part. So in India, and I want to kind of reiterate here, India is one of the leaders in the digital payment space. We have a company, that government company called National Payments Corporation of India, which is arguably one of the best institutions in the world. Many of us don't know. What does NPCI do? To me, it has done two very, very important things. One, it has introduced Unified Payment Interface, or UPI as it's called. The bank, fantastic, is an innovation that is, we are now, as we speak now, India is helping 20 countries, including Singapore and United States, adopt the technology. So we are now at a phase where we are reverse engineering. You know, earlier technology used to come from the US. Now UPI technology, we are helping the US adopt in their country. So we have come a long way in terms of that. The second big innovation I like about NPCI is there used to be for a very long time only two organizations that offered payment systems in the world. One was called Visa, the other was called MasterCard. They still exist. Anywhere in the world, any country you go to, you will have payments which are accepted only by Visa card or MasterCard. NPCI has now introduced an India-based organization called a methodology called RuPay, 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 which is a Indian alternative to Visa or Master. This is unique in the world because no other country has been able to do this. Every country been a kind of at the mercy of Visa or Master. India is the only country where we have an alternative called RuPay. We don't need Visa or Master. Of course, they are very welcome to be here, but we will compete using our own payment system. These are all great advances, I think, which have helped us assert our independence financially. 6 months ago, I was in Dubai. I was passing through to Africa on a tour, and I was in the Dubai airport, and I had a cup of coffee in the airport lounge, and I reached out to my pocket and I pulled out the purse, and I was trying to find dollars to pay for that coffee. When I saw rupee in my purse, and he said, "Sir, you can pay by rupee now." I've never been more proud in my life when you go to another country and that man says, "We also accept rupee." In the last 5-7 years, thanks to India's movement upward in the international eyes, our technology and our acceptance has improved dramatically. Our currency is now accepted for payments in about 10 countries, I'm told. You can go and buy stuff in 10 countries and pay in rupees. So there is a vast change we have come in the information technology age since we started out in the 80s. If I run a small company, we have about 10 employees. We have an internet drop that day, it's as good as a holiday for us. We can't do work. We're completely always connected to the internet. Our transactions happen on the internet. We don't have a desktop-based alternative. Our mails are on the server, we are in the cloud, our applications are in the cloud. If internet is down even for a minute, we don't have work. It becomes, we are so well connected today, and technology offers us so many advantages. But I'm even more excited when I look at the future is what is coming. The generative AI, the artificial intelligence as it is called, is going to bring an amazing amount of value add to all our lives. It is going to change a lot of our lives. It's going to change the way we live. It's going to change the way we operate. But I'm sure all for good. AI is now a reality in our space. I don't know how many of you all have used ChatGPT? Few? Please try it. In fact, I'm standing in the college, but I'm telling you that some of your difficult essays you can try. ChatGPT is really smart. It can give you your essays in no time. Having said that, I think the applications are far more in Gen AI in terms of what we are going to get. I was talking to a Google expert a couple of months ago. Google is working on a contact lens application. So the technology is going to permeate every area of operations. Google is coming out with a what is that you wear? Contact lenses. It's It's coming out of the contact lens that you can put into your eye, and that contact lens in real time will monitor your entire body functions, from your heart functions to your blood to your every aspect of your health is going to be monitored using that one contact lens that you wear in your eye. We have been working with an organization, my Rotary Club, Madam said I'm part of Rotary Club. We've been working with an organization called SHG Technologies based out of Bangalore. SHG Technologies does a very, very innovative device. It's called a smart vision glass. And it's a reality as we speak now. And we have distributed 1,000 of these devices to fully blind or nearly blind people as part of our social initiative. Now, what does this smart vision glass do? You wear this smart vision glass. Let's say I'm a completely blind person. I have no vision at all. I wear this smart vision glass. Sorry. And I bring a newspaper. The device will read the newspaper for me. It will sense that there is a newspaper in front of me. It will sense the words that are there in the newspaper, and it will read it out to me. One. Okay. What happens if I get a Tamil newspaper? Sure, it will read it in Tamil. It will read in 50 Indian languages in real time. You can store names of people based on their profile. So I click a photo of Dr. Shiv Shankar and I store it. As I'm sitting a fully blind person, as he approaches me, the device tells me that Dr. Shiv Shankar is approaching. There are 20 different applications the thing will say. If I'm stepping off this, the device, if I look in this direction, the device will tell me there is a step ahead. Be careful. This device is an AI-enabled device. It's a smart vision glass. I'm giving you a very simple application which costs less than the cost of this telephone. It costs about 30,000 rupees for this, for us to donate one vision glass to a fully blind person. But imagine the life transformation that happens to the life of this person. Otherwise, they'll have to use Braille to read. Today, like you and me, they can either open a book or website, and on that, whatever is there on that screen, the smart vision glass will read it out to them. AI is super, super cool. Second, Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, in my personal opinion, are here to stay. Why? I will talk at another time because I need 30 minutes exclusively for that. But I think the technology on which it is based, which is called blockchain technology, is a very interesting technology. Very, very innovative technology. And blockchains in the next 10 years will be very, very used in our daily life. A friend of mine is working on a project involving blockchain. Very simple. One of the biggest problems that the industry faces is the authenticity of college certificates, right? I mean, especially if you're an employer, you get thousands of CVs of people, and many of those CVs have certificates or certifications which may not be necessarily authentic. So this has been a problem that's been plaguing the employment industry or the industry for a very long time. A friend of mine is now sitting all at the edge of cracking this using blockchain technology. How is that every student who graduates from a college will not be given a physical certificate, will be given a virtual certificate with a number. That virtual certificate is embedded in a vault. That virtual certificate with a number will be accessible by anybody anywhere in the world. And because the digital certificate is embedded in a vault, nobody can go alter. From Babu, they can't make it Abu. They can't change anything there. So the certificate is permanent. And this solution comes at a very fraction of the cost, because the cost of printing a certificate, carrying it, losing it, reprinting it, so on and so forth is completely eliminated in this process. And with the kind of internet penetration we already have, anybody can access that certificate as long as you give them the coupon. This is one simple application. He is looking at 20 applications, including investment documents, life insurance policies. You don't need a physical life insurance policy anymore. You just need the reference number. Once you click that reference number, that policy will be visible to you wherever it is. So there are 20 different applications this company is doing. This is only one company that I know of, which is using blockchain technology. But there are lots of things coming. I believe the future is going to be even more exciting as compared to the past. If you ask people my age, the last 20 years has been phenomenal. You know, I started working at an era where we had landline telephones. I don't know how many of you in the audience even know what a landline telephone looks like. But we grew up on an era of landline telephones. You had to call somebody and tell them that we are coming. And if on the way the gentleman decided to go somewhere, we had no means of knowing how that changed. Then pagers came and then mobiles came. Mobiles are there for about 23 years now, 20 odd years now, not before. But the next 20 years, I think will be phenomenal. There won't be a job called a driver, is my view. Driving is a profession gone. I mean, I was telling somebody the other day that I spent a significant part of my schooling learning tables and addition and subtraction. That's a skill that you guys don't need. There's always going to be a phone or a computer somewhere near you. Right? A lot of things are changing. Like I mentioned, the job of a driver is at risk. Definitely at risk. You are getting intelligent vehicles that will move on the road without a driver. Already there in the US and some of the other countries, soon coming to India as well. I want that it's a bad scenario, people will lose jobs. I think we will evolve into other things. We will evolve into doing better things. That's where I believe. I'm very positive on the facts of technology and where they are. I believe the future will be owned by people like you, but there are two qualities that I think is very, very important that you must possess to own the future. First quality is you must adapt. There will be everyday change. I was just talking to Professor earlier. My mother is 80 years old. She uses WhatsApp like nobody's business. She sends me WhatsApp messages, WhatsApp voice messages when we are not able to converse. Do you be able to adapt? Those who adapt will survive, will thrive. Those who don't adapt will perish. Second, don't look at technology or innovation as a threat. Look at it from a perspective of an opportunity. Sometimes our lens of how we look at things itself kind of is incorrect. Many a times I see media talking about technology as a threat to job market, technology as a threat to something else. Always look at things as an opportunity. In my mind, every big entrepreneur in this world has started because he faced a problem. Google founders were in their college looking for some topic in their library. They had to physically look at hundreds of books to identify where the topic is. They said there has got to be a different way to do this. A problem gave rise to Google. Every problem is an opportunity. That's the second thing. So keep this in mind, that technology is not negative. Technology is a huge positive. Identify the problem and you will be able to find a technological solution to it, and that's where the growth of mankind is going forward. I think my 20 minutes are up. On that note, I'm going to pause. Like I said, I can talk till lunch or beyond on subjects like these, but I think the final 2 points, I leave it with you. Be ready to adapt. Adapt means learn, unlearn, relearn. This has to happen continuously. You learn something, you have to unlearn some things, you have to relearn some new things. Constantly, this is a constant cycle of life. Second, always look at opportunities. The guys who run the biggest IT companies in the US are all people from Namma Chennai. Sundar Pichai, to some of the biggest guys who work on Microsoft's latest platform, Satya Nadella, who's the founder of, who's the CEO of Microsoft, to some of the biggest guys working in Meta and so many other places that I know of, are all people who are from our very own soil. So we are no different from where they are, except that they all choose to solve a problem. Look for problems. When a problem comes, smile at it and go with vigor to solve it. And believe me, you all will be winners. Thank you so much for the opportunity to share some of my perspectives, and I hope it was useful. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. You have the advancement and growth of technology in a really simplified yet interesting and emerging way. We will now be joined by our guest keynote speaker, Professor Ravindra Renna. So I request all the dignitaries on stage to be seated amongst the audience. I request Mrs. Anita Ambadi, Head Department of Business Administration, to introduce the chief guest presenting the keynote address, Professor Ravindra Renna, who is accompanying us online.
Good morning to one and all. It gives me great pleasure in introducing the chief guest, the guest speaker, Professor Dr. Ravindra Renna. Professor Dr. Ravindra Renna is a profound academician and distinguished in economics, writer, editor, advisor, motivational speaker, and public intellectual with over 31 years of experience in research in Asia Pacific, Africa, and European continents. He has been an independent consultant and training expert. Professor Renna is currently serving as Honorary Professor of Economics at Faculty of Management Sciences, University, Durban, of South Africa. He serves as a visiting professor at Department of World Economy, St. Petersburg, Russia. He also serves as a Professor of Economics at Monash. He works as a visiting professor for many Indian universities, notably Sanjeevani Business School, Maharashtra, the Sri Sri University, Cuttack, and distinguished professor at the Sparsh Global Business School, Delhi. Besides, Professor Renna serves as a honorary country director of South Africa International Internship University and Igniting of Young Minds Global University, India. He acts as a president in South Africa for the UCAN and International UK. He also serves as the Global President, Economic Affairs, All India Sustainable Development Council. He is Rindi Technological Innovations Private Limited. Professor Renna earned his PhD from the Department of Economics, Osmania University, Hyderabad, India, with the achievements of the University Gold Medal. He obtained his MA, B.Ed, MPhil, PhD from Osmania University and BA and LLB from the University of Warangal. He has bagged many awards and prizes. He has also obtained his Ekalavya Award by the International Council for Education, Research and Training, New Delhi. He received Olympus Award for Human Empowerment. He also received the prestigious Best Researcher Award from the Durban University in 2022. He has also bagged Best Researcher 2011 from Namibia University of Science and Technology and is also one of the recipients of the Esteem Award of the year 2012. Professor Rena has won several national and international awards and accolades throughout his career. Based on his extraordinary research contribution, the American Historical University, USA, has enlisted his profile in the World WHO in the WHO International. He wrote 10 books, published more than 150 articles in reputed national and international peer-reviewed journals and 50 book chapters to his credit. Besides, he has published more than 150 articles in newspaper, magazines, websites and over 60 papers at national and international conferences and seminars. He visited in 300 colleges and universities across the globe. Professor Rena's profile was featured in the Global Achievers magazine in July 2021 as one of the top 10 social leaders who inspire, and his interview and research work has been featured in leading media outlets across the globe. He is also one of the resource persons for the BRICS forums, international conferences in South Africa, India, Brazil and Russia. Professor Rena is armed with in-depth understanding and thriving on extensive knowledge of global economic and social issues. He has widely written in the areas of economics, education, development, economics and inclusive growth, globalization and higher education, microfinance, rural WTO and sustainable development, economics and development aid in South Africa. He supervised over 60 PhDs, MPhils and master theses and dissertations across the globe. He served on many committees as a chairman and a panel member. He has also been an external examiner, moderator for masters and PhD at different universities in America, Europe, Asia, North America, Latin America, and Australia. He has traveled over 40 countries across the globe. It's my great pleasure in actually reading out a total very good researcher throughout the world, and I really welcome him for our particular international conference.
Thank you, ma'am. I would request Professor Ravindra Rena to deliver the keynote address.
Good. Can you hear me? Hello. If you are able to hear me and see me. Hello. Can anybody confirm, please, from the conference organizing committee? Hello. Okay, that's fine.
Hello, sir. We are
So,
able to
ladies
hear
and
you.
gentlemen, it's indeed a proud privilege for me to be part of this international conference organized by the Alpha College. Occasion in conducting the conference of January 2020. They try to use the topic that is different important areas of the contemporary technological innovations and commerce and management issues. So it's the emerging trends that are probably taking place over a period of time with regard to the innovation side, on the technology front on the other side. And of course, there is the impact on the management and the commerce areas. So that is basically the topic of the conference, or the theme of the conference. And so I'd like to touch upon, in the interest of time, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to touch upon some of the important issues here. The issue number one is that we always believe that perform, reform, and transform. So we need to perform ourselves, whether you are an individual, you are an organization, whether you are an educational institution, and whoever you are, individuals or the organization, we need to always perform. So just like the bicycle that we pedal, if we stop pedaling and we are going to fall down, so in the same manner that we all need to perform, whether it is Alpha College, Chennai, or whichever institution, IIT, Madras, or whichever institution they are, we need to keep performing. And if we do not perform, the technological innovations, the development that are taking place within the commerce management and business arena is not going to take place. So therefore, ladies and gentlemen, it is very, very important for every one of us, whether we are institution or whether we are individuals, we need to keep performing. The second point is that we need to reform ourselves. Even if it is the same logic or the same formula is applicable for the country as well, for the world as well. So we need to reform from time to time what we learned through our own mistakes, our own achievements, for our own growth and development, what we yet to achieve, what is the strategy that we would like to adopt, and how we can try to channel and how we are going to achieve the goals that we set forth. So those are the things that we need to reform ourselves from time to time. That's why we have the NEP, new education policy that came into existence in Indian scenario. Probably African scenario, it's a different story. So therefore we need to reform, whether it is the curriculum, whether the educational system itself, or whether we have a technology front or the political front or the cultural front, or probably whichever front we are talking, science, technology, engineering, and so on. So we need to reform from time to time. Now, for example, I don't want details of the reform agenda that we have in India in 1991. We have a LPG reform. L stands for liberalization, P stands for privatization, and G stands for globalization. So LPG are somewhere around during the time of the Prime Minister, Rao, and the support of the then Finance Minister Manmohan Singh ji. So they are trying to embark on the economic path of India, whether it is related, business trade, whether it is complicated with cities, that is fine. We could read fruits of particular reform. So the same token that is applicable to individual, we read salt. Then after the reformation is being transformation is been done, and of course we need to perform. So these are the three stages actually systematically one through is perform and transform. The success is always ours. Success is not end of it is not just like a event. The journey itself. So but at the end we need to give something tangible, positively that can add some value to society, value to the community, the country. So this is the point I want to make. We need to have PPT. PPT means it's a so division. It's performance and nation and the time. And so it's like. And now the second I'd like to mention here, gentlemen, we started our journey probably about 50 years ago, and the first industrial revolution taken. That is the industrial revolution, laying the foundation for the technological actions that are taking place in this today. The starting point is first industrial revolution. I'd like to mention few parts with regard to that. Then I move on to support within the manufacturing sector. And previously, industrial revolution, more depending upon the handmade, basically the style, there are tools we use daily life. We depending upon handmade kind of invention of the steam mills and the tools that we use in production. That is part of we'll talk about. So the steam engines, so even the machine begin to promote the productivity, the efficiency on the other side into this, and only the but also people who are from to the urban areas. Migration also to rise during the time, and to action. The action to look for the mark. Revolution is British because of ID, which is not not of India, or the state of India, or India. So I could able to conquer the why the sun never sets in British Empire. So that's what had happened. The point of here, gentlemen. So they look for the also in time look for the right. The first industrial revolution still India, also many developing countries in the Africa that I am from, and the Africa also got five in African continent. Out of countries, countries are by the British or the people, Audience, and so on. This is what exactly this paradigm shift that taken based a growth that occurred within